In addition, Dr. Bussard claims that fusion power scales as the 7th of the radius, and energy gain scales as the 5th of the radius. So I did a little calculation to try and reason out what he's saying. If you take a device 10 meters by 10 meters by 10 meters cubed, you can get 21 kilowatts out of it. In addition, Robert Bussard is claiming that the machine can do boron-proton fusion, which is not able to be done in ITER or ICF currently. If that were true, you would take all that energy and multiply it by 8/3, roughly, to improve your energy output. In addition, Robert Bussard claimed that if you change the geometry from a 6-sided cube to a 12-sided dodecagon, you could increase your power even more. What's amazing about this device is it's using vacuum chambers, E-guns, proton guns, and metal rings. This is all existing technology that has been known how to use and operate and make. And if you go to proton and boron fusion, there would be no radioactivity and no carbon footprint. You'd feed in boron and you would get out helium. If this machine worked correctly, as Bussard is claiming. However, there are a number of questions that remain with this research. Bussard was pretty much alone in his championness of this device. Many physicists do not believe that you can make this wiffle ball, this ball of electrons in the center of these devices. That's a big criticism. Another criticism is they're not sure that this device won't thermalize. That's interesting. That would mean that the energy, the moving kinetic energy, would get distributed over all the different particles in the center of this reactor. If that happens, it would ruin his system. Heat is bad for this reactor. Ideally, what he wants is he wants a whole bunch of matter sitting in the center, and then he wants 2 or 3 atoms moving very, very quickly that would slam into one another. If the system heats up, then none of the particles have enough energy to do that. They're all moving kind of fast. So that would ruin everything. Another problem is arcing. Inside those metal rings, where the electricity is going around and around and around, generating that magnetic field, which contains the cloud of electrons, which creates the negative voltage drop, which is what he uses to slam things together. Inside those electric rings, there's a high voltage. And if you build up enough voltage, there could be an arc, a lightning bolt, between the wall of the vacuum chamber and the inside of the Polywell. And that would ruin everything. In addition, it's hard to believe that his reactor can be so efficient. You need to insulate all the metal surfaces on the inside of this vacuum chamber so that none of the electrons are conducted out the sides and outside of the device. So it's hard to insulate all that stuff. In addition, what about these competing reactions inside the core? Ion positive-negative charge interactions could screw things up. And also, most of the reactions are not going to be fusion reactions. So you've got to buy a lot to believe this machine. However, it's difficult to say whether this is true or not, and it's difficult to know for sure. So further research is certainly needed to determine whether this is a real, viable, fusion-producing machine or not. So in conclusion, Bussard claimed that the physics of this device had been solved. This is, we're not sure. Further research is definitely needed and should be taken. Bussard was seeking 150 to 200 million for engineering research. Unfortunately, Robert Bussard passed away in October of 2006. Before passing away, he won a Outstanding Technology of the Year from an international aerospace astronautical conference. And his work has been taken up by Dr. Richard Nebel at Lawrence Livermore National Labs. And Dr. Nebel is currently attempting to duplicate Bussard's results to verify whether this data is real or not with Navy funding. Thank you.